Hello and welcome to a very wet and blustery day. But what is a Mustang episode? And today I'm going to try to attempt to not screw up some welding. Especially considering it's only my 4th time ever. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. So the first part we have to do is this part here. Now this is missing obviously, but on the other side it's pretty complete, so I can use that as a template and measure what needs to go on here. It's basically a piece that comes across here, goes round and down and joins that there. It's not a huge piece of metal. Thankfully it's actually not that bad on this car. However, I am going to use the grinder first to take off all this excess crap down here and see what I've got to work with. It might be a complete mess under there, but hopefully it won't be. So we'll have a look. Now, the inner wings on these were in 3 sections. So you had a piece here, you had the piece at the front, and a piece at the back. So hopefully it's going to be quite straightforward. Yeah, anyway, so I've got lots of metal, as you can see there, or maybe you saw earlier. If not, here it is. Look, I've got 3 pieces of this. This is 1 mil, I think, 1 mil thick, might even be 1.6. I think actually 1.6 mil. It's a little bit thicker than I need. This is actually 0.6 mil or 0.5 mil. 1 mil would have been better, but I got this for free, so I'm not complaining. So what we're going to do is measure on here on the other side and flip it for this one. But first of all, as I said, I want to get the grinder out, get the health and safety gubbins on, and grind off here and see where we start with. Now, one thing I do want to mention is when you're doing any grinding or welding, especially when it's up this end here, you want to really be covering up your windscreen, because you don't want splats of bits of weld or grind bits on your windscreen, because it can scratch it and that can get expensive, especially when it comes to a classic car that's 40 odd years old and it's hard to get a windscreen. An American import is even worse. So just a bit of cardboard, cover it up and minimize any problems. Okay, so now we can see what we've got. Now the metal down this end is actually pretty good. It just needs smoothing over with some filler later on. This bit here was starting to go, so I'm going to put another piece in here. I'm going to cut a piece to go in there and just lap over there like so to replace the other bit which came up to here. As you can see, the join there. There's going to be a small piece going here. Now moving up here, this piece here I can't quite work out. I think this is the overflap from this piece, but then there's a join here, so I'm actually not quite sure. So what I'm going to do is make a new piece to go along here, down here and across there to overlap and weld onto there. And then, now with this piece I have to be careful. Down here you've got the hinge screws for the bonnet and a couple of other pieces down here. Now there is a hole under here that needs fixing, but there's just only a small piece that I can weld over there, not a problem. However, this bit here I'm going to cut along here, over down here, here and round it goes down there. I've got a couple of bits to weld up here as well. Down there and then up and across. I could make a whole new piece, but I don't want to do that, because then I've got to make sure that these holes are in exactly the right place for the bonnet. And I'm not sure I can get that exactly right on this piece. So I'm going to leave that there, put another piece in. This is actually quite solid, so that should be all right. Another piece along here, down there, up, round, and across there like that. Now there is a code on here, D1, looks like a backwards Z3. I can't work out what that is. If anybody knows, that'd be great. And I've also got a code on here. If I move you along, you can see there, 1G166761. Be nice to leave that on there, I think. Right, so metal making time. So that's 3 1/4 by 5 I'm going to go, so that'll take that to there and then overlap that much. 3 1/4 by 5 with the bend. There, 3 1/4. Yep, right, okay, let's cut that. Okay, now our piece of metal is cut. I've got to measure where the bends are, so that's a 2 centimetre lip before the bend. Remember, this piece is coming out, so that's not going to be a problem. And then we've got another slight curve, 3 centimetres up from that. So we've got 2 centimetres with a 70-degree bend. We can adjust that bit by bit, and then like a 20-degree bend, another 3 centimetres on. Now, to make that bend happen, I was just going to bend it myself and use a mallet. However, a friend of mine has made it, and here it is. This is a metal bender that he has made with a bottle jack, and that should be sufficient enough for us to bend the metal. So let's give it a go, shall we? So we've got a lip under here, so we want to go in 3 centimetres, 2 centimetres, sorry. Right, so we've got our lines marked out, 2 centimetres and 3 centimetres. And this is going to be interesting, isn't it? I'm going to have to get down on the floor here. Oh, I'm not getting too old for this. Right, now it's going to bend the other way, so I can't really put it on this side. Mind you, it doesn't really matter, does it? And there you go, look, we have a bend. Ta-da! Look at that. Okay, it needs bending out slightly. It needs a kink in the top of the 3 centimetre mark. Alright. This is only about a 20% bend, so this should be interesting. God, that's almost perfect, even if I say so myself. Wow, I am really chuffed with that. Marvellous. Okay, it's going to need a bit of trimming here because this is tapered. It's not completely one edge like that, but that's not a problem. That is not a problem at all. In fact, I can take a little bit off because I'm going to go to here and not all the way to the edge. I cut it off there and then go straight across there and down. I'll tell you what, that's not bad. I'm quite chuffed with that. I need to take a bit more of that off. Because when you weld, you have to weld to clean metal. It's nothing worse than going to dirty metal because it'll just pop and crack and you'll get a very, very bitty weld. I'm talking like an expert here. I'm not, but that I do know. Okay, so all the edges where it's going to weld are pretty clean. This is pretty clean, and that is going to go on there like so. So it's going to go either very, very well or not very, very well. There, actually. So let's give it a go. Right, so that is stuck. All I have to do is try and get enough heat in it without melting the other metal and creating lots of holes for me to fill in again. Right. I think what I'm doing is going a bit too fast. I need to put a bit more heat in it and slow down a bit. I'm a bit nervous about doing it, so last thing I want to do is blow holes in the metal. It's knowing how to get it right. Practice makes perfect. I just really shouldn't be practicing on a 71 Mustang, I guess, but you know, whatever. Okay, it's probably not going to be very pretty, but that's what a grinder's for, or a professional welder. Okay, so now that's ground off. Again, I'm not an expert and this is not an expert job, but considering this is my 4th time welding, I'm actually not too disappointed in myself for that. You know, it's okay. Bearing in mind it's the inner wing and you're not going to see it anyway, and once I put a skim of filler over there and it's been sprayed and treated, that's not too bad, I don't think. So, on to the next piece. Now this bit doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Again, inner wing, and it's going in an arc across there like that. So that I can pretty much do what I like. As long as it matches between there. I'm going to come up across there like so. Like I say, it doesn't have to be 100% on that bit because it's just an arc. It doesn't really matter how much of an arc, because you're never going to see it, and as long as it covers up there where it's supposed to on the other side, that's fine. It's also got a little lip sticking out all the way around, but I don't know if I need that. I'll leave enough anyway, like I have here, to create a lip if I need to. Right, so I've gone as far as I can with the metal bender. As this is a very odd, weird shape, I'm going to have to hammer this the rest of the way in place. So that's where it needs to be there. Right. All I've got to do is bend that lip over. That's going to have a slight kink in it. That's going to be an odd bend. But again, you're not going to see it because it's going to be under the inner wing, and there's plenty of clearance between the wing and this bit. Plenty of clearance. All this is clear. As you can see, look, that's where it comes out to, and that's not a big bulk there. It just goes up and over. So as long as it's reasonably in shape, it's going to be fine. Right, I'm happy with that shape now. So all I have to do is cut this out here, down there. I mean, I can cut it here and then let it overlap. So it'll come down here, across the top, and then weld on there. I also want to fill in these couple of holes as well. And then we're good to go. So a bit more grinding and a bit more welding. Stand by for action. So as with everything, when you cut out a piece of metal, you usually reveal something else. So of course now I've got holes in that. Now that, I don't know where that goes. I don't think it goes anywhere, to be honest. I think it's just a box section. There's nothing, there's no hole in there. I can't feel it going down. So, however, I do need to cover it up, because otherwise if it gets moisture in there, it'll rot through. So I do need to cover that up. So we're going to have to weld a piece over here on this first. I could try and weld up the holes, but this is really crap metal, and I know if I try and weld up the holes, it's going to end up blowing a massive hole in the whole lot. So if I just weld a piece over there and then put my new piece over the top, like so. Moisture isn't going to be an issue because there's a bloody great hole here. So, do I put some metal over it? Well, I suppose it's not even very strong metal. But it looks horrible, and I know it's there. Do you know what? To be able to get that, I'm going to have to cut that piece out completely and weld it in. And I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to put another piece of metal over there like I planned originally. And then I'm just going to fill that with sealer or sealant. Because I don't see its purpose. It's not really structural, I guess. Because there's a... Well, you haven't got to worry about moisture because there's a hole in here anyway. I might be wrong, like I say, I'm not an expert, but I just don't know the advantage of, hello, blood, of welding that up or welding a piece over there. Thoughts, please. But by then it might be too late because I'm now about to put a piece on there. Right, I'm going to have a little experiment. I'm going to see what happens when I try and weld it. I don't think it's going to do much other than blow a massive hole. So let's see. Yeah, as I thought. Big hole. No point. I'm starting to see better in there now. The only thing that's in there is a leaf. I'll just leave it there. So, no, oh, okay. Oh, good. More blood. I don't even know why I did that. Bloody idiot. Little experiment. Just going to try and weld to this good bit of metal here. See what happens. As I thought, it blew a massive hole in it. Right, that's decided. I can't weld anything in there. It's going to have to be filled. Oh, bollocks. So, I've clearly made a hole in that. Like I said, my welding is not good. Fourth time only. Yes, I know I've said it several times before, but I don't want people commenting going, oh, your welding's crap. I know, but this is the only way to learn. So, I'm going to spot weld it round, and then what I'm going to do is practice my welding on other bits of metal, and then come back. I know I should have done that first maybe, but whatever, it's too late now. In for a penny and all that. Well, the welds have held to allow me to bash that into shape, so can't be that bad. Right. Bollocks. That didn't work very well, did it? I don't want to climb out again. Oh, hang on. Okay, got it. So there we go. Now, it's a mess. It's certainly not pretty, but it is solid as hell, and it is tacked on there quite nicely. It really is solid. It's not going anywhere. What have we learned from this? Pay someone to do your welding? Well, that's an option. And yes, maybe I should have done. But there's only one way to learn, and that's to practice. Yes, as I say, I could have practiced on 2 perfectly nice bits of metal, but I'm welding crap metal to new metal. And yes, I know there's no excuse for this one, new metal to new metal, and I still blew a hole in it. I obviously put too much heat in it, and that's just a learning curve. But hey ho, you know, slate me all you like, I get it, and I'm sure there's lots of welding experts out there. But if you don't give it a go, you're never going to learn, are you? And this is what I've done. I've given it a go, and I'm still learning. So I will practice, and I will make it better. Like with this one, yes, it was a bit messy, but when you grind it off, it actually doesn't look too bad. And bearing in mind, it's an inner wing, it's not really going to be visible once the car is back together. But I've given it a go, and I've made something. So, you know, that's all I can say to it, really. Give it a go if you want to, but I do urge you to practice. So there you go. That's all we've got time for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next time. We've got some more bikes on their way, and we've got some other stuff too. So please join us again soon. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, click the bell, and all that. If you want to support us or support me, that's great. Please do so on Patreon or Facebook Messenger. Not Facebook Messenger, Shop. That's the one. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'll go back out and brave the wind and the dark now. And until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.